The myocardium itself is the innocent bystander in most heart diseases. The primary problem is really in the blood vessel. The major blood vessel disease, atherosclerosis, is usually caused by an excess of risk factors such as high levels of low-density lipoprotein, LDL, depicted here by the yellow spheres. Of course, there are many cases of atherosclerosis when cholesterol is in the average range, and we're learning a great deal about non-traditional risk factors, but let's consider the case of low-density lipoprotein, which when persistent in its excess, can accumulate in the artery wall and become modified by oxidation, shown by the brown color. That can inflame the endothelial cells, which will express adhesion molecules for leukocytes, or inflammatory white cells, which will then penetrate into the intima, where they'll take up some of the lipoprotein particles and transform into foam cells, the hallmark of the fatty streak, the early atherosclerotic lesion, which usually grows in an outward direction. Lesion complication begins when the smooth muscle cells in the intima begin to divide and secrete extracellular matrix molecules, such as collagen. Other smooth muscle cells will penetrate into the intima from the media, where they will join the other smooth muscle cells in forming a fibrous cap overlying the lipid core. When there is a persistence of risk factors such as high levels of LDL, the lipid core grows and it sets off an inflammatory response. Leukocytes, such as the T lymphocyte, can send signals to the macrophage, either soluble signals, or it can activate the macrophage by contact. The activated macrophage can then secrete various mediators, including matrix metalloproteinases, which are enzymes that can weaken the collagen in the plaque's fibrous cap, making it susceptible to rupture. When there's a rupture of the plaque's fibrous cap, it can cause a thrombus, which when sustained and occlusive, can cause an acute myocardial infarction, shown by the ST segment elevation. However, we now know that most plaque disruptions are actually clinically silent, or when subtotal or transient, can cause an episode of unstable angina, shown by the ST segment depression. But when that clot resorbs, it can cause a healing response that thickens the fibrous cap and narrows the lumen, giving you a stable but symptomatic plaque. When we intervene to lower the risk factors such as low-density lipoprotein, it gives a chance for the lipid to leave the plaque's central core and allows the inflammatory white cells to depart or die by apoptosis. That gives a thickened fibrous cap and an uncompromised lumen, which will yield a stable and asymptomatic plaque.